Yeah, so hey guys, it's Romie here. So this is the review for American Crime Season 2, Episode 8. And it starts off actually on a really kind of low note because it has to deal with they brought teachers and I believe a student or two that were actually involved with the Columbine shooting incident that happened years ago. And they're just talking about their own personal experience and how of course, being a part of a huge tragedy like that can change someone, and you really can't understand it unless you've been a part of it. And so then the show actually segues right into Coach Dan kind of taking over Leslie's role of really being in charge in the face of the situation because Leslie's actually going through it. We see Leslie look how she's never looked before. And she looks damaged. She looks like she's officially lost control. She doesn't know what to do. So she's just at home sulking. And you have to keep that into context because Taylor, who ended up shooting Wes, he was actually there to shoot her. She was on the list. Taylor wanted to kill Wes. He wanted to kill Kevin. Wanted to kill Leslie. And the fourth name isn't coming to mind right now. I'm not sure if Eric was on that list as well. He might have been. But, yeah, so it's really, really messing with her. And like I said, there's this like really drawn out assembly going on because Coach Stan is trying to nail the coffin in the head that it's like, you know, I know this will take a while for us to heal. Right now we just have to come together. Again, this was a tragedy. Oh, one boy who was a part of our school came and took the life of another boy that was really ingrained in our school. And I'm just like, all right. I didn't like Wes, so I don't care that he died. Am I the only one? Am I the only one? That's how I'm thinking. I'm like, you can't get me to feel bad about this situation because of who ended up getting killed. If it was someone else, maybe. So anyway, after that, we get to, like I said, more foolishness because Leslie's going through it. Leslie's just on this, oh, this is too much. I can't. And she wants her husband to come back home so that he can be with her. And then she realizes, no, I have to be the face. I've always been the face of everything. I have to go back out there. My public needs me. So she goes and gets all dolled up and goes back to school. But again, they have another scene where there's a mother of this boy who committed suicide, and she was just saying how it's really messed up because people after her son died were saying how he took the easy way out, and she's just like, how the hell did he take the easy way out when it was literally hell on earth for him while he was alive? And so it's like, yeah, you got a point there. And after that, you have Anna going to visit Taylor, and she's just trying to figure out what can she do. It's like she's trying to. It's like, I'm meeting with a lawyer. I'm doing this, but I need your cooperation. I need your help. Taylor's just pretending like he's fine, that he's good. Of course, we know he's not, but he's not gonna let his mom know that because he didn't want her to get involved in the first place, since we already know she had some type of mental illness. And that's the other issue. Now they're trying to peg this as completely as, okay, she was deemed crazy, even though she wasn't really deemed crazy. She put herself in voluntary confinement, whatever it's called, so that evaluation, and the records got leaked. And so with Taylor going and shooting Wes, now people are like, okay, Taylor was crazy too, and he was on drugs? Oh, of course. And like I said, she's going to do everything she can to try and get him out of there. But his whole mindset is, look, don't worry about me type of thing. And so you get to Eric's mom and his brother, and his mom's like, look, I'm getting you out of here. You see this? You see this envelope? All the money that I have, except for I didn't sell the car because we'll need that. It's like, yeah, we'll need that because I'm taking you and I'm going anywhere you want us to go. Anywhere except for here. Your brother is sick. He has issues, and staying here isn't going to make it better for you. And your father, he's messed up too. He did something to your brother. I can't prove it, and I don't know it for sure, but I know it for sure. He did something to him, because essentially she's trying to say that since the separation, with him spending more time with Eric, that he must have sexually violated him. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, is she really trying to go this angle? She's really trying to say that Eric is gay now because her husband, who we know didn't do anything to him. Oh, wait. As far as we know, didn't do anything to him. Was spending more time with him, and as a result, something must have happened, which must have turned him. So she was just like, look, we'll go anywhere. I just need to get you out of here. I just need to get you out of here. So it looks like he's going to go. After that, we get to, what's his name, Marcus? You know, the principal who's in charge of the school where the blacks and the Hispanics are raging against each other, which is completely ridiculous. But you have that guy who, it looks like he's a computer hacker, and he's still really interested in Taylor's story because he understands that there's more to the story. So his goal is to try and figure out what he can do to help Taylor and his mom. But he can't do that over the phone because she turned him down the first time. So he's going to go and meet her in person. Now, like I already told you, Leslie's going through it. She called her husband, and she realizes, I'm Leslie, whatever. I need to go and control this situation. I couldn't control this situation as it happened, but I'm going to get in front of it now. Now that the dust has settled, now somehow me being a part of it will make things better. And again, you have another outtake of one of the teachers from the Columbine High School. It's just like, you know what? I still love all my students, but now in the back of my mind, I can't trust that none of them would come into a classroom and try to kill me or any of their peers. It's like, wow, that's kind of a messed up world that you have to live in, but okay. Yeah, so Leslie's back at work, and she's trying to go and figure out, okay, we need to do this, this, and that. In that order. You got it? You got it? And so she closes the door and asks her assistant, how long was he there? You know, waiting for me. How long was he waiting for me? Well, a little bit over an hour. So the good thing was that, remember, she was actually doing a speech somewhere else. So she wasn't even near the school, thankfully, because I'm sure he would have shot her. And remember, thanks to the assistant initially was able to get Taylor to leave by saying that, you know, we do support you, even though we're not speaking out in your behalf. There are people who do take your side. Well, before. Now, I'm sure not at all. No one. No one. No one at all. And so, you have, what's her name, Becky or Becca? You know, Coach Dan's daughter. She's going and kind of looking at everyone sulking at the fact that Wes is dead. And I'm like, gosh, did people really like Wes like that? I don't know. I wasn't feeling it, but whatever. So Coach Dan is going through his little period moment of, oh, well, you know what? We need to go and get in front of this situation because where's Leslie? Where's Leslie? What has she been doing? This is her fault. This is her fault. Not only is it her fault, it's Taylor's fault. The kid lied, and his mom has a mental illness. He has a mental illness. So why aren't we running with this? This is what we need to put in front of them. And I'm like, wait a minute. Why does this sound familiar? Oh, wait. We know why it sounds familiar, because it sounds just like Leslie. I'm like, you know what? Dan, you are absolutely no better than Leslie herself. At least she tried to go off of rules and regulations. You're just going off of emotions and instincts, and yours are horribly wrong. I mean, you didn't even realize your daughter was selling drugs, and she was selling your wife's drugs, and by selling your wife's drugs, she sold it to Taylor the day of him killing what? Oh, come on now. Come on now. Come on. You must do better. You must do better. But I'll tell you about the full fallout in a moment. So, like I said, Taylor's mom, Anna, is trying to figure out, okay, what case can we put against the school? We need to go and spin this. And they're like, look, there is no evidence to support your son being attacked, and so he was defending himself. So you're going to have to come up with something else, because a kid's dead. Your son is essentially admitting that he did do it. Everyone knows that he did it. What can you do to defend him? So she has to go and figure that out. Eric's father is not having it right now. He's like, I can help you. I can really help you, but only if you let me. You haven't let me essentially take charge or be your father for a while now, because you're on this whole I'm a man, alpha male type of mentality. And you see where it got you. You being accused of rape, you trying to commit suicide, and now this. You were on that list. You were meant to die. You were meant to die. And so, you going and this phone is devil. Because every time you go on it, you go and you contact some guy, and then a fallout happens. You contacted Taylor. Now he's accusing you of rape. Now he killed someone. Now he's in jail, and you're still have to deal with the repercussions of that. You contacted this older guy. The older guy kicked your ass. Thankfully, you were able to defend yourself and get away, but you could have died. What the hell's wrong with you? Really? Really? Yeah. So again, we cut to another scene where we have this woman who's just talking about she tried to commit suicide because... Now, I don't know if she wanted to be a lesbian or if she was gender neutral. Not really sure. Just knowing that, again, it was another situation. They're weaving in the combination of the LGBTQ community along with the people that have had to deal with suicides as a result of people who were part of that community, along with people who were part of school mass shootings. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. So Taylor and Andre, they're just trying to regroup, and Terry figures like, wait, Andre, are you good? Are you good right now? It's like, no, but whatever. Because we actually see Andre trying to struggle to take that tear and place it out of his eye. I'm like, Andre, come on now. You can do it. You can do it. Just squeeze a little harder. It'll come out. But yeah. So he's just like, you know what? No, this is too much right now. But I'll be okay. I'll be alright. And Terry was trying to stop him from saying how... Because he feels vindicated. He's like, look, the kid was crazy. His mom's crazy. And he ended up killing someone. So I feel vindicated. I don't care that I went and leaked his mom's personal information as far as her health condition and her being admitted into a psych ward, even if it was voluntarily, because look at what happened. Look at what happened. I feel like I did the right thing. Yeah, we'll see how long you feel that was the right thing. So after that, we get to, what do I want to talk about next? Again, the guy who's like the computer hacker, he's going to go and meet up with Anna. And he's taking his kids, of course, along with him. Because I guess he's a single dad. So he's the only one that they have to watch over them or watch out for them. So after that, we have Leslie who's speaking with a school representative. And Leslie's freaking out because she's like, wait a minute. They're trying to kick me out. They're trying to kick me out. After all it is that I've done for them, they're trying to kick me out? Really? Really? How does that make sense? I brought in tens of millions of dollars for this school. I've navigated them through the choppiest of waters. How dare they? And they're like, look, it doesn't matter who you thought was on your side. They're not right now. So you need to figure things out. You need to figure things out, and you need to figure things out fast. So... she goes and she finds Coach Dan. And Coach Dan, right now, he really dislikes her. He borderline hates the woman. He was just like, you know what? You try to control everything. You try to control everything. You try to use logic. You try to put money in front of the people. You know, you didn't treat my players like people. You didn't treat them like people. And so, as a result, you handled things the wrong way. It was all your choice. It was by your design. And now you have to deal with it. You don't take responsibility. And then I realized, you know what? She doesn't. Every time something gets placed on her, she goes and she flips it. So she never does take responsibility. I'll give you that. I'll definitely give you that. That's valid. So he's like, look, at this point, the only thing you can do to get in front of the situation is say that you were wrong and you're sorry. Because think about it this way. Wes would be alive if it wasn't for the fact that Taylor, if he were to go and just have shot you that day instead of him. I was like, ooh, okay. That was a lot. That was a lot. That was reaching a little bit because I get what he was trying to say, but yeah, that was a lot. So after that, again, we have another teacher talking about just the general experience with having to cope with after a situation like the Columbine shooting. So Terry goes and meets up with, remember the assistant she fired because she was like, she's not performing well? So Terry says this, look, I understand that I jumped the gun with firing you, and I did that because I expected a lot out of you, and I honestly didn't put the work in to make sure that you reached your fullest potential. Essentially, I saw you failing, and instead of trying to reach my hand out to help you, I went and pushed your hand away and escorted you out of the building. So she was just like, that was her way of saying I'm sorry. Because, again, her assistant, her ex-assistant was just like, wait a minute. Are you really trying to tell me that you went and did all of this, and because of the shooting, I know what's been happening, because of the shooting, now you've been reborn, now you're all holier than thou and sanctified? She was like, look, you damn right I am. My son was on a list of people to be killed that day, and that didn't happen. So you're damn right I am. So again, we have the hacker guy looking more into the details of what's going on with Taylor and his school. Becky, or Becca, she comes and she tells her dad, you know, Coach Dan, she's like, look, I have to tell you something. He's like, okay, what is it? Yeah, I sold Taylor drugs. He was like, what? Yeah, it was like, where'd you get the drugs from? Where'd you get the drugs from? I got it from Mom. You know, her stash. It was like, oh my gosh. And also some kids who were at the school as well. And you should have seen his reaction if you didn't see it. I mean, he's pretty much like this borderline, mild-mannered, looks like could snap at any moment, but tries to keep it together type of person. Well, not at that time. I mean, if she was any closer, I'm sure, what he did to that phone is what he really wanted to do to his daughter at that moment. Because he was like, are you kidding me? So this kid ends up killing someone, and the drugs that were found in his system came from you? Does anyone else know? Does anybody else know? And she's like, no, nobody knows except for Taylor. It's like, Taylor's not going to tell. It's like, how you know? Taylor's not going to tell. It's like, okay, we're going to keep this a secret. This is just going to be between us. Your phone's destroyed, so they're not going to be able to get information from that. And so, of course, you still have that loose end of the other kids that were selling the drugs to her, so they could always blab or at least make the connection. So he's gonna have to go and figure that out, because that is really messy. That's definitely gonna come back to bite them. So his wife comes in, and I don't know if it was just you, but I feel like she kind of came in almost like, okay, is anyone home? Is anyone home? I'm about to sneak something in. Is anyone home? And so he's just looking at her like, oh, this chick. Let's deal with her. All right, so you know your daughter up there? Yeah, don't go up there. She's probably still crying right now. It's like, what do you mean? What's going on? Did you know your daughter's been selling drugs? It's like, selling drugs? It's like, yeah. You know where she got it from, right? Your stash. It was like, it's just weed. Regardless if it's weed. Yeah, regardless if it's weed or pills or whatever, it was still illegal what she gave him. And so he was like, look, but I destroyed her phone. So why'd you even do that? It doesn't make any sense. They could go to the phone companies and get the records of the text messages. Like, come on now. I was like, finally, someone who's doing some thinking. Finally, someone who's doing some thinking. As soon as it's sent out there, it's out there forever. Out there forever. So she was just like, what are we going to do? It's like, we're not going to say anything. We're going to protect our daughter. We're going to protect our daughter by being quiet. We're going to stay quiet. We don't know anything. She definitely doesn't know anything. She wasn't involved. That's how we're going to play it. If it comes back to us, she didn't know anything, and we'll go from there. You got it? You got it? Okay, good. Now go upstairs, because she's probably still crying. So Kevin and Eric meet up, and at first I thought we were going to find out something really scandalous about Kevin, but it was nothing that we didn't already know. Eric was just pissed, like he was pissed before, because you have... Did I say Eric or Kevin? Eric's pissed at Kevin because Kevin's family isn't helping his family out with the legal procedures, because Kevin's family, they're not... I think they're lower income, and of course we know Kevin's family's rich, and so he's like, you know, my father went to go and enlist the help of your parents, but they didn't go and help us out. It's like, what's up with that? We're in this together. You know, I could really release some information about you that's really incriminating. And again, it's something that we didn't already know. It was your party. You brought all the drugs. Not only did you bring all the drugs, you also made sure to have the girls there, all those different girls there, so that you could sleep with them and do this and that and that. And I was like, okay. So as far as we know, it's sounding like he didn't necessarily have an involvement with what happened to Taylor. And now, as the story progresses, I don't know why, but something just feels like, I don't know. Is it just me, or do you guys also think that maybe Taylor... I don't want to say that he lied, but he's not telling the whole truth. There's something else that we're missing. There's something, because I feel like there's like a linchpin, and he's the person who holds the key, because Wes is dead, so even if he did anything, now it doesn't matter, because Taylor technically got his revenge whether he wanted to or not. So, you have that, and then afterwards, you have Taylor's mom who's going to meet up with the hacker guy, and he's like, look, the police aren't going to help you, but I can. You know how I'm going to help you? I'm going to go and find as much dirt on that school as I possibly can and make sure to expose it. By doing so, I'll be able to get them to take your case seriously. Because right now they're not. They're not taking your case seriously. They're just looking at your son as some liar, some mentally ill person who's also a killer, and that's that. But I can help you, and I'm doing this not really for you, it's for me. It's really about empowering myself. That's not what he said, but that's how I'm taking it as. I feel like I've just been a bystander, not being able to really do anything, but now I can use my abilities for good, and so I'm definitely going to help you out, really, whether you want it or not. So it's just easier with getting her on board, and she's like, yeah, let's do this. So that was it. Again, next week looks like it's going to be a great episode. Let me know what you think. Please like, comment, subscribe. Come back for next week.